Hello, and welcome to today's podcast. In today's episode, I'm going to share some helpful tips on how to build confidence when speaking English. I know that many of you feel nervous or scared when speaking in English, and I completely understand. When I first started learning, I was afraid to speak because I thought I would make mistakes or sound wrong. But over time, I learned how to feel more confident when speaking, and I want to share those tips with you today. By the end of this episode, you will feel more comfortable speaking English, and you'll have the confidence to speak in any situation. 1. Start with simple conversations. When I first started speaking English, I didn't try to speak like a native speaker right away. I started with simple conversations. I practiced with basic phrases like, "How are you?" or "What's your name?" I used these simple sentences in everyday situations, and over time, I became more comfortable. If you're nervous, it's okay to start slow. Practice saying short sentences, and don't worry about using complex words. Focus on simple things like asking for directions, ordering food, or talking about the weather. The more you speak, the more confident you'll become. Start small, and then build up as you improve. 2. Practice speaking regularly. One of the best ways to build confidence is to practice speaking regularly. The more you practice, the easier it becomes. I made sure to speak every day, even if it was just for 5 to 10 minutes. I would practice by talking to myself, repeating sentences I learned from a podcast, or practicing with a language partner. It's important to practice speaking English every day. If you don't speak regularly, it's harder to feel confident when you do speak. Don't be afraid to speak, even if you're not perfect. The key is to keep practicing. The more you speak, the more natural it will feel. 3. Use apps to practice speaking. If you don't have anyone to practice with, you can use language apps to help you build confidence. There are many apps like HelloTalk or Tandem where you can find people to practice with, even if they are in a different country. These apps allow you to chat, send voice messages, or even have video calls with native speakers or other learners. I used these apps to find language partners, and it really helped me build my confidence. The great thing about apps is that you can practice at your own pace, without feeling the pressure of speaking to strangers in real life. This is a great way to start building confidence, especially if you're a beginner. 4. Don't worry about making mistakes. One of the biggest obstacles I faced when trying to build my confidence was the fear of making mistakes. But I quickly realized that making mistakes is a normal part of learning a language. Everyone makes mistakes, even native speakers. When you speak, it's okay if you don't use perfect grammar or pronunciation. The important thing is that you keep speaking and practicing. Whenever I made a mistake, I didn't let it stop me. I learned from it and moved on. The more mistakes you make, the faster you will learn. So, try not to worry about making mistakes. Just focus on speaking and improving. 5. Speak slowly and clearly. If you want to feel more confident when speaking English, try to speak slowly and clearly. When I started, I used to speak very fast because I was nervous, but I quickly learned that it's better to speak slowly and carefully. This gives you time to think and makes your speech clearer. When you speak too fast, it's easy to get confused or say something wrong. By speaking slowly, you give yourself time to focus on what you want to say, and it's easier for the other person to understand you. Take your time and don't rush. Speaking clearly will make you feel more confident. 6. Listen to native speakers. Listening to native speakers helped me a lot when I was trying to build confidence. When I listened to podcasts, movies, and YouTube videos, I heard how native speakers use the language in real-life situations. I would pay attention to how they pronounce words, how they stress certain words, and how fast they speak. You don't need to understand everything at first. Just focus on listening to how they speak and try to imitate them. The more you listen, the more confident you'll feel when you speak. You'll learn the rhythm of the language and how to speak more naturally. 7. Join English speaking groups. Joining a group of English learners is another great way to build confidence. There are many online groups where you can talk to other people learning English. It's a safe place to practice speaking without feeling embarrassed. In these groups, everyone is learning, so you don't have to worry about making mistakes. For example, I joined a Facebook group for English learners where we shared tips, asked questions, and practiced speaking with each other. I found that being part of a community helped me feel less alone and more supported. 8. Practice listening and speaking together. It's important to practice both listening and speaking together. One of the best ways to improve your speaking is to listen to something, then repeat what you heard. This method is called shadowing. For example, you can listen to a short podcast or video, pause it, and then repeat the sentence out loud. I did this a lot, and it really helped me feel more confident when speaking. Shadowing allows you to practice pronunciation and helps you get used to the rhythm of the language. The more you practice this, the more comfortable you'll feel when speaking on your own. 9. Set small goals. To build my confidence, I set small, achievable goals for myself. I didn't try to speak perfect English right away. Instead, I focused on simple goals like having a 5-minute conversation or learning 10 new words a day. Every time I reached a goal, I felt more confident and motivated to keep going. Setting small goals helped me see my progress, and it kept me motivated. You don't have to speak fluently right away. Set small, realistic goals and celebrate every time you reach one. 10. Stay positive and have fun. Finally, one of the most important things I did to build my confidence was to stay positive and have fun. Learning a language is a journey, and it's important to enjoy the process. If you feel frustrated or discouraged, take a break and do something fun in English, like watching a movie or listening to a song. The more you enjoy learning, the more motivated you will be to continue practicing. Stay positive, focus on the progress you've made, and remember to enjoy speaking English. 11th. Record yourself. Speaking English. One of the best ways to build confidence is to record yourself speaking English. I used to feel nervous when I spoke in front of others, but when I recorded myself, I could listen to my mistakes and figure out how to improve. It also helped me notice where I needed to focus on pronunciation and sentence structure. You can use your phone or computer to record short conversations or even yourself reading aloud. Afterward, listen to the recording and pay attention to areas you can improve. Over time, you'll hear progress, and this will make you more confident in your speaking. 12th. Start speaking with friends or family. If you don't have anyone to practice with, start speaking with friends or family. When I first began speaking English, I would practice with people I already knew. This made me feel more comfortable because they were patient with me and didn't judge. Even if your friends or family members don't speak perfect English, practicing with them will help you feel more confident. You can start with easy sentences and build from there. Over time, you'll feel more comfortable speaking with strangers too. The goal is to practice as much as possible. 13. Use English in everyday situations. A simple way to build confidence is to use English in your everyday situations. When I started learning, I would use English to describe my day or what I was doing. For example, while I was cooking, I would say things like, "I'm chopping the onions," or "I'm boiling the water." The more you use English in real-life activities, the more confident you become. Start by speaking to yourself in English about your surroundings or your routine. This helps you think in English and feel more comfortable speaking in real conversations. 14. Watch English movies and repeat what you hear. Watching English movies and repeating what you hear is a fun way to build confidence. When I watched movies in English, I would pause the movie and try to repeat what the characters said. This helped me practice pronunciation, sentence structure, and fluency. I didn't worry about getting everything perfect. Instead, I focused on getting the general idea and repeating it in my own voice. After doing this several times, I began to feel more comfortable speaking. You can start with simple cartoons or shows and then work your way to more advanced content as you grow confident. 15. Celebrate your small wins. Finally, one of the best things you can do is celebrate your small wins. Every time you speak English, whether it's having a short conversation or learning a new word, take a moment to appreciate your progress. I remember feeling really proud when I had my first English conversation without worrying too much. Don't wait until you're fluent to feel good about your progress. Each small step forward is an achievement. Celebrate every time you get better, even if it's just a small improvement, and keep moving forward with confidence. Thank you for listening to today's episode. I hope these tips help you feel more confident when speaking English. Keep practicing, and I'll see you in the next episode.